everybody, how's it going? Lord Josh here once again, and today I want to come to you and discuss drugs in the occult community. But first, let me address a question that many of you have been asking. Is this throne comfortable? Heck no! It's like sitting on a park bench. It's so stiff and unforgiving, it's dreadfully uncomfortable, but I like it because it looks great. So, very serious topic this is. This is somewhat controversial, and I think a lot of people are going to get offended. I'm certainly going to ruffle a few feathers, no pun intended. Drugs. How is it that we have gotten to the point now, as a society, where you cannot speak to anybody under the age of 24 years old without them having experimented on some kind of substance? Am I the only one, as a young person, who hears that and is appalled by it, disgusted? I feel crushed. It deflates your heart to know that there are people who are dependent upon these drugs just to get by in life. And many of them dreadfully hide behind the facade and the excuse that they do it to achieve a spiritual state. Now that's what really boils my blood and gets me very angry. You do not need any kind of drugs to achieve an alternate frame of consciousness. That is a part of you as the magician. That's a natural seed in your mind that requires a watering process for it to be developed. And drugs are not the answer there. What you must do in that situation is you must cultivate your mind via meditation, ritualistic practice, ceremonial magic, power of color. All those things will help you, but people take the easy way. And that's not a reflection of the occult community, that's just a reflection of society in general. And as a nonconformist, as a person who doesn't care what direction society goes because I follow my own heart, I still feel ashamed to know that. Because I see a lot of my spiritual and occult brothers out there who are becoming literal addicts, and they're becoming zombies, and they're losing their edge and their minds to substances. So people will come back at me and say things like, well, Lord Josh, I disagree, because if you look at the ancients, the Native Americans, the Mayans, various cultures, a lot of the shamans used drugs, used substances, psychoactive substances. No, I disagree. What the ancients did is they were tapping into things, they were experimenting with things, and now we as advanced people, now we know the effects it can have. And I'm living proof that you do not need to be on any kind of drugs to truly create something powerful. When I sit down to make my intros, I always get the stupid comments. What is Lord Josh taking? How much LSD is he taking to create these visual images? I'm not taking anything. It's the same way with the rituals. You can have the most powerful astral projective experiences by just using your own vivid imagination. That's it. And if you're dependent on substances to achieve any kind of creative success or spiritual success, then you do not have the self-discipline it takes to truly succeed naturally, organically. Instead, you take the easy way out. It's like getting a bodybuilder who builds up his physique on steroids. As soon as you come off of those performance enhancements, you lose all of what you've gained. And I think it's very similar with magic. If you don't learn how to properly, naturally evoke spirits, summon storms, get creative generally with poetry and writing, if you don't learn how to do that just by using the tools that you've got already at your disposal, you're never going to succeed when those drugs are taken away. Don't you think that's sad and despicable? That we've become addicted to these things? And people will say to me as well, well, Lord Josh, you've got a lot of spiritual items in here. Are you not addicted to the tools, the occult paraphernalia? Well, all of these tools don't have a negative effect on my body and my mind. We have it backwards. We are so crazy today. What we allow, what we are tolerant of, is absurd. So if you're watching this and you're struggling to get into that deep trance, that flow frame of mind, just keep going. Try to get into yourself. Get introspective. You can do it. Everybody's capable of doing it. You don't have to pop a pill to get an instantaneous effect. You really do not. You are truly capable of ascending the great void just by using your natural mind. But it's tough. Magic is all about self-discipline. In a lot of ways, I think that people have lost touch with living like a monk or living like a Taoist priest, a Tao Shi, in the sense that you have to have incredible heart, strength of character. You got to have great willpower to be able to resist certain urges and desires, to purify your body of any toxins. And when you hear about the purification, detoxifying your physical form, purifying your thoughts and your mind, and that's not to say that you ignore the darker aspect to the human nature, the human self. Of course you don't. You have to acknowledge everything. I'm a grey arts practitioner. Don't let the colorful clothing fool you. I'm very much a grey arts worker, and I see both sides of the coin here. I try to remain balanced. But a lot of my own experiences as a child of 11 years old, when I first went through my spiritual awakening, my major one, that's when I was introduced to the world of prescription drugs to treat auditory hallucinations. And I'm not a fan whatsoever of any kind of drugs. I'm not discriminating against street drugs. I'm talking about everything. I'm a chronic sufferer of migraine headaches. And part of the reason why I became spiritual and magically active is because I wanted to find a way to treat a lot of the illnesses I have, like the headaches, naturally, just by using self-hypnosis. And you can do it. You really can do it. If you're driven and if you're strong-minded, you can really get in tune with your own body. If you believe it, you can do it. You could truly do it. So with magic, it works in a very similar way, that when you step onto your altar, when you ascend your altar, in my case, the Seven Stars altar, I just use the spirits, I use my own imagination, and I use the knowledge that I've gotten. I don't take the easy way. I don't like it when people come to me and they say things like, oh, but sometimes you have to. You have to if you want to reach the top. I mean, what is the top? Is there any destination to reach here? Is it not just a journey that we're all experiencing? I mean, yeah, you could say the ultimate ascension is the true end goal. But purity, remaining pure in body, health, magic and spirituality should be like remaining healthy. That's why I draw the comparison to the fitness world today, because you have a lot of these, take 10 minutes to get abs and take all the steroids and insulin that you can get. And for some reason, it flies in today's world. It just, the things that we're tolerant of today it's ludicrous. It's absurd. And we're only damaging the integrity and the beauty of this ancient art, which is the arcanity. The arcane arts are one of the most precious things. Being creative, being resourceful, being a little cunning and crafty, trying to get ahead naturally. People have lost sight of themselves. They're turning to things now. They're going down such a dark path. They really are. And it makes me upset to see that. As a hermit, as somebody who is pretty much detached from sanity, I suppose you could say, I'm healthy. And I'm creative and I'm productive. I'm not an addict. I'm not dependent on anything. I'm very self-disciplined. And I'm able to control my desires almost 100% of the time. Are you? And answer honestly. Are you? Think about that for a second. You really have to think about it and consider the fact that you might be an addict and not even truly know it. That's why I'm saying, for those who hide behind the spiritual facade of drugs, it's ludicrous. So take action. Stop self-destructing. And I reckon that we can all restore occultism back to what it once was. Not the grimy, dingy, dark and evil kind of place that it's become now. And I don't mean evil in the sense that it's wicked and malicious. I mean that a lot of people practice it like it's Halloween magic. Like something you'd see on a 90s Nickelodeon show. I mean, it's just ridiculous the way that people are going today. So I just wanted to rant a bit on the drugs of the occult community and how I believe it's just flat out wrong and you don't need it to attain that spiritual state. I want to know what you think. So put it down in the comments. Feel free to follow me on Facebook at Lord Josh Allen to see all of the naturally created, amazing poetry, original quotes that I've made. I'm not taking any drugs for those, although it may sound like it. I'm really not. So thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. I'll see you soon.